Hello and welcome back, or welcome if you are new here. My name is Justina. Welcome to my channel. If you are a returning viewer, welcome back and thank you for joining me today. So here today I'm going to talk about the new moon in Scorpio. And in the first part of this video, I will discuss this new moon influence from a more of a general perspective, and then I will move into the forecast for each rising sign. You can find the timestamps in the comment section and description box down below this video. So here we go. Thank you very much, and let's begin. All right, so we've got a new moon happening on the 13th of November at 20 degrees of Scorpio. If you have any important placements at around 20 degrees of Scorpio, Taurus, Leo, or Aquarius, then you will be under a greater influence of this new moon. Now, a new moon occurs when the sun and the moon meet at the same degree in the same sign. So this is the beginning of a new lunar cycle, an opportunity for implementing some fresh and new ideas into our lives. It's a very explosive and erratic new moon. Lots of intensity in the air, without a doubt. The moon in Scorpio is in its fall, not the most comfortable placement for the moon. And also, this is the third decan of Scorpio, ruled by Cancer, the moon. So here, these emotions and feelings will be really, really intensified. Here, Scorpio belongs to one of the mute signs, along with Cancer and Pisces, which relate more to feelings and emotions rather than to words. Here, Scorpio is also a fixed water sign, which suggests that whatever that you deal with, whatever that you initiate around this time, will have long-lasting and enduring outcomes and results. All right, so now an interesting fact, something I wanted to mention for your well-being and health as well. Here in traditional astrology, Scorpio is connected to a disease called scurvy, which results from a lack of vitamin C. So watch your vitamin C intake during Scorpio season, especially around this new moon, because a lack of vitamin C also makes it difficult to absorb the iron from the intestines. So something to really pay attention to is, so at the time of this new moon, we've got this new moon conjunct Mars, Ceres, and all these bodies and luminaries are in opposition to Uranus and Taurus. Now, here, the new moon and Uranus opposition, it's not something unusual. We had this opposition in the past and during a new moon in Scorpio in 2021. However, this time around, we also have Mars and Ceres in play, and Mercury and Saturn square, which would already be activated a couple of days before this new moon. So communication is difficult. There could be some challenges and clashes with others. You might experience challenges to overcome, especially since, as I mentioned earlier, Scorpio is a mute sign. So here's all about these intense feelings and emotions, and we will need an outlet, an activity, something to help us release that intensity under that moon in Scorpio, where the moon is in its fall, because otherwise it will make us feel restless. It will make it difficult to resolve an issue. I don't want to say an issue, but whatever that, could potentially happen out of the blue. A situation, circumstances, for example, some news, whatever it is, depending on which area of life is activated in your chart. So here, generally, this new moon puts us in touch with the deeper and darker, more profound aspects of life. It's all about generally something that could suddenly surprise us, take us by surprise. And here with that Mars and Scorpio, we will hopefully be able to deal with this situation that would otherwise seem overly difficult. Now, at the same time, it's all about finding solutions, remaining persistent through to the end. It's a fixed new moon. So even though sometimes there is that resistance to change, whatever that you begin, you have an opportunity to get through to the end, even though it will require a little bit of effort. It might require you to get out of your comfort zone. as well. Right, so lots of also intensity in the air, as I said earlier, and let's see what this new moon means and brings for you on a deeper and more personal level. So here, this horoscope is most accurate for your rising sign, also called the ascendant sign. You can find the timestamps in the comment section and description box down below this video. So here we go. Thank you very much, and let's begin. Hello, Aries, and welcome to your horoscope for the upcoming new moon in Scorpio horoscope. And this new moon will be in your 8th house. So what I usually recommend for those with a new moon in the 8th house is to ensure that you implement a little bit of fun, pleasure, something that brings that comforting energy, nurturing as well, since the degree of this new moon is ruled by Cancer. The moon in Scorpio is in its fall. So implement a little bit of an activity, something little. This could be even a relaxing bath or a nice homemade meal, whatever you can, whatever you feel like. But you need to nurture yourself in some positive way to experience that comforting energies, because there is a little bit of challenging energy in the air, and we've got Mercury and Saturn square as well, which will be activated already a couple of days before this new moon, around the 10th of November. And this could create a tendency towards negative thinking. Now, the reason I'm saying that is because Mercury rules over your 3rd house, which is connected to our rational thinking, our mind communication. So overall, around this new moon, in the days leading towards this new moon, it's not a good time for having any life-changing conversations, because these type of meetings, conversations could only create negative outcomes, results. And perhaps if you can delay them after this new moon, then you might actually get some more satisfying outcomes. So that's on a side note. But overall here, yes, definitely nurturing is essential here. But overall here, anything to do with work as well, important meetings, this sort of things around this new moon is not recommended, because Mercury also rules over your 6th house. Now, at the same time, since the 6th house is also connected to health, well-being, and you've got the North Node in your 1st house, and also we've got the new moon in the 8th, which is connected to all these deep and profound energies. It's essential to look after your health. So as I mentioned earlier, that vitamin C intake is essential here throughout this time, without a doubt. All right, so new beginnings here, new beginnings in the financial area, which is could be generally could bring up an unforeseen expense, because you've got this opposition to Uranus. Might not be the case for everyone, but it could be very much the case that you'll be dealing with some unexpected, unforeseen expenses, or perhaps generally some financial matters, perhaps that you were supposed to deal with, perhaps whatever that you were supposed to pay, or if you are supposed to cover some fees, they might actually result in them being higher, bigger than you originally or initially thought they would be. On a different level, perhaps this is also connected to some insurance payouts. Perhaps if you've been expecting some money from insurance, from some commissions, perhaps this money could be slightly different to what you expected, or perhaps you might be dealing with some delays. Perhaps there could be some more paperwork to complete, and you may only realize, well, slightly later. And this could also create that frustration as well. So there is some clash of energies here in the financial area, something taking you by surprise, something that will require immediate or a quick resolution. So as I said, it's all about finding these solutions, because the energies will be intense and there could be frustration in the air. But here, Scorpio is connected to these energies that observe. So it's not about talking too much about this. It's about taking action, especially here with that Martian energy, which is connected to also cardinal energy, because Mars is the ruler of Aries. So it's all about taking action and finding solutions, because you are dealing with slightly deeper, more profound energies here. Now, this could be also connected to inheritance, having some important conversations connected to inheritance if you've been dealing with this sort of matters. A new moon is also here in the 8th house, could bring conversations connected to mortgage, to debts, loans as well. And here, perhaps there is this need stimulation to apply for a loan or a mortgage, but perhaps leave it for a few days after this new moon is exact, since the energies at the time of the new moon are pretty tense, and they will remain for generally a couple of days after this new moon is exact, but then later after the 16th, things should calm down. But overall here, yes, a new moon in the 8th house is also connected to a need to transform an aspect or an area of your life that lost its spark and purpose. So perhaps there is a need to attend to a matter that you may have overlooked recently, and it will require your attention. It could be connected to your health, it could be connected to your work or your family matter, but it's all about finding these quick and solutions and resolutions. And we've got all that Scorpio energy in your 8th house. Generally, you are able to deal with profound, deep matters with more ease, especially since you've got so much activity happening here. So yes, a transformation could be very much the case here if it's not related to money. They need to heal as well. It's all about healing. You've got the North Node in your 1st house, so you are still, it's all about that self-improvement, self-discovery, and the 8th house increases that need for transformation in your life, for letting go in some way as well. Or perhaps it could be also connected to having to deal with a situation that suddenly emerges, connected to perhaps joint or shared resources, because the 8th house also deals with the finances, the resources we share with other people or a significant other, for example. So there could be also some new beginnings related to how the finances, the resources are shared and managed in your household, in your relationship. At the same time, since Venus is here in the 7th house as well, so it's all about finding that balancing energy in your relationships, in your love life. Well, thank you very much, Aries, and let's move into the next sign. Hello, Taurus, and welcome to your horoscope for the upcoming new moon in Scorpio. So as I said earlier, the energies are deep, profound, intense, and there is something or someone taking us by surprise, lots of erratic energy that needs to attend to something that comes up immediately. It's about taking action rather than just talking about it, with that Mars and the new moon conjunction. So here there is an opposition in place. It's your 1st and the 7th house opposition between the new moon and Uranus, and Mars and Uranus. So it will be a pretty explosive, it could be a pretty explosive one. So it's essential to remain calm generally with these one-to-ones, because this is all about these one-to-one connections, relationships, people with whom we have a contract, for example. So that's very much highlighted when the moon and the sun transit our 7th house. The attention turns onto the other person, our significant other, whoever it is that we are dealing with. And there's Mars and new moon conjunction and that Uranus opposition. So this could be about some matter connected to your relationship, partnership, that has been circulating in the air for quite some time. And now during this new moon or around this new moon, things could come to the surface. And it will be a time to take action and resolve the dilemma that has been kind of bothering you for quite some time. And this could be also about your significant other, your partner, business partner, even your landlord, someone with whom you have a contract, surprising you with some unexpected news. And perhaps this is about the termination of a business collaboration. Perhaps this is about your partner, business partner, presenting new terms and conditions regarding the business or the collaboration. And perhaps these might not be fully comfortable with you. Perhaps you might not be fully comfortable with them. And it will require adjustment. It will require perhaps a proper conversation, even though at this point, as we move towards this new moon, Mercury, the planet of communication, rational thinking, will be in a square to Saturn. And this can create a tendency towards negative thinking. This can make communication difficult. This can make us feel detached from the world or some people in our life. Now, Mercury rules over your second house, so this isn't the time to take financial risks or making some impulse purchases. Perhaps you will be facing a major expense you will have to cover in the upcoming future, or perhaps around this new moon. And this will also perhaps make you feel slightly uncomfortable, and it will make you want to perhaps do some financial planning and budgeting, especially since Mercury is in your 8th house, which is connected to any loans, debts, finances as well. So this could be also a time when you'll be dealing with some or having to face some expenses, some fees you have to cover or around this new moon or in the upcoming future. And this will require some planning from you as well. But overall here, a new moon, yes, this could be about perhaps if you've been, if you are going to sign a new contract, perhaps they will suddenly pull out. Perhaps they will suddenly change their mind about some specifics connected to this contract. So it's all about generally facing the challenges that emerge around this time, because this new moon could generally trigger the more sensitive, profound aspects of our life. And it's all about finding solutions as it happens, because here, remember, this is a fixed new moon. A new moon is about new beginnings, new ideas, new possibilities. The energies are erratic, and there is a possibility of something or someone taking us by surprise, of us having to implement a lot of effort and energy into a situation that occurs with the other person. But at the same time, it's about taking action instead of avoiding the challenges that potentially emerge. So it's all about these new developments, and it's about persistency as well. You also are a fixed. Taurus is a fixed sign. Sometimes it's difficult to approach a brand new matter, and it requires a lot of energy. But if you do, then you can stick to it to the end. And Mars in Scorpio gives you the inner strength, the inner power to deal with a situation that perhaps requires you to get out of your comfort zone. But Mars in the 7th house is about learning to deal cooperatively, I hope I pronounced it well, in a harmonious manner as well. Right, so I think that's what I've got for you today. Thank you very much, and Taurus, and let's move into the next sign. Hello, Geminis, and welcome to your horoscope for the upcoming new moon in Scorpio. And this new moon will be in your 6th house. So here your work employment is very much highlighted. Also, since Saturn has just stationed direct, and it is at 0 degrees in your 10th house. So here, career, professional life is definitely here very much the case. But also with that Martian energy, overall Mars in Scorpio here in your 6th house can produce a lot of physical activity, and generally that needs to multitask because your responsibilities may have increased throughout Scorpio season. And this is about generally having to deal with important deadlines, having to deal with many different things at the same time at work. This could also create some perhaps some challenges at work, even with coworkers, or perhaps you could act as a mediator if there is a situation between two of your employees or two coworkers. Now, here, since Saturn will square Mercury, your chart ruler, since pretty much the 10th of November, this can create a certain degree of, negative thinking and that inability to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Now, at the same time, this could also result in you having your responsibilities at your work could increase. Perhaps someone is sick. Perhaps something wasn't covered in a project that you were involved in. Perhaps you had a very difficult conversation with your boss superior, someone at your work. Perhaps someone made you feel like you don't know enough. So there are different kind of possibilities that could be the case. Or perhaps it's you that is you feeling slightly miserable with yourself because you're not seeing the outcomes and the results that you were hoping for in your profession, in your career. And here comes this new moon telling you to take action. Mars and the new moon conjunction. Take action. It's not about talking, it's about finding solutions to problems, issues that emerge at this time. So this could be also about something or someone taking you by surprise. This new moon highlights the darker aspects of life, the more complicated, more complex. Overall, a new moon in Scorpio, in Taurus, in a fixed sign can create that complexity or highlight that complexity. So there could be a situation that you'll be dealing at your work with a coworker, or perhaps this is about finding even a job, looking for a job and finding it difficult to prepare for an interview, or perhaps you might find it difficult to get to the interview. So it's generally don't over schedule your diary during that week, because something might come up and you won't be able to generally fulfill all the appointments, duties that you planned in advance because of something else that may require your attention at the same time. So it's all about generally keep your calendar pretty flexible. And here Gemini is connected to flexible and adaptable energy. So hopefully you can deal with these energies as they emerge. However, that Saturn and Mercury square, it's something that can definitely trigger your mental health, emotions. So if you feel like you are low in energy, try to do something that will help you to increase that energy as well. Remember, Saturn in a square to our sun, our moon, or our ascendant ruler, it can also not only generally make us feel slightly miserable, but also it can decrease our energy. So remember about a healthy nutrition at this time. Minerals, vitamin D, calcium, these are really essential, since Saturn can decrease these valuable minerals, vitamins, or make us forget about the healthy nutrition. Vitamin C as well. Remember about that, I mentioned at the beginning of this video, because here Scorpio is connected to, a disease that is related to lack of vitamin C. And at the same time, lack of vitamin C makes it difficult to absorb the iron from the intestines. So something on the side note as well, because the sixth house is connected to our health, diseases, well-being. So here, definitely remember. Now, at the same time, you could be implementing a new diet into your life. You could be seeing a doctor as well, health checkups, blood tests. This sort of things are also highlighted at this point. Perhaps lifestyle changes as well. That this new moon, there's a shift or the need to change your lifestyle because of something else that may come up here in the middle of November that will require your attention, and you will have to perhaps change your gym sessions to a different day, for example, or generally something else could have to kind of shift during your weekly schedule. But here we go. Thank you very much, Geminis, and let's move into the next sign. Hello, Cancers, and welcome to your horoscope for the upcoming new moon in Scorpio. So here, water sign here, Scorpio and Cancer. So that's a good sign, and there's a trine between these two signs. And Mars in Scorpio is also beneficial for Cancer. Now, the good thing also is that the sign ruling the third decan of Scorpio is Cancer. So there could be a lot of familiarity that comes into play here with this new moon. Now, the ruler of this new moon, the traditional ruler, is Mars, and the Mars stands out during this new moon. Mars is separating from an opposition with Uranus. So what it means is that perhaps you might be completing something just before you begin something new. So perhaps you're completing a certain project, business related project, goal with something like this, for example, and you're preparing for another one immediately. It's all about taking action. It's all about doing, going for it instead of just talking about it. But here we've got also a pretty challenging energy, as I mentioned earlier, because the new moon and Mars conjunction here is in opposition to Uranus in Taurus. And these energies are pretty uncomfortable, especially here, Mars and Uranus opposition, pretty erratic energy that will require perhaps you having to get out of your comfort zone. And for you, this is really significant because the moon is your chart ruler or your sun ruler, whatever you're watching it for. And this will impact you pretty profoundly, and it can make you feel slightly impulsive or dynamic. If you feel overwhelmed by these energies, make sure that you release them on doing something, especially creative, because it's a fifth house is connected to creativity, pleasure, fun. So implement a little bit of that into your life around this new moon in order to generally deal with these energies with more ease. Because yes, intensity is in the air. It's Scorpio season, and you might be dealing with a slightly more deeper, complex aspect of life. Perhaps this is about your romantic relationship, and you might be having some strong realizations as a result of something that perhaps might come up connected to your romantic partner, as a result of a conversation, as a result of a date out. And this will require a little bit of energy from you. So perhaps you will decide, this isn't working, this isn't it, I need to move on. Or perhaps this is about having a slightly deeper conversation, and this will perhaps it will be about resolving some kind of dilemma you may have with your significant other. Now, this is also connected to anything to do with your children. Mars and the new moon is all about taking action. However, with that Uranus opposition, this could be about some uncomfortable situations suddenly that may come up, and it will require a quick resolution or finding a solution. So perhaps your child might surprise you with some news, or they might do something that could feel slightly disruptive, for example. And this will generally require some strong parenting from your side, and you having to get out of your comfort zone, for example. So here, this new moon in the fifth house is all about also reconnecting with your inner child, doing something that could be of a healing nature, but at the same time, it's all about these creative skills, abilities, finding a bit more comfort and pleasure in your life as well. And that intensity and profound energy is in the air without a doubt. But here with this new moon and Mars and Uranus opposition, this is about generally taking action and finding solution to perhaps a potential situation that suddenly comes up, something that perhaps could generally make you also change your plans, change your direction as well, disrupt your week. At the same time, this could be also about implementing changes connected to your future plans as well, because Uranus is here activated in your 11th house. Friendships, long-term goal, and hopes and wishes could be slightly modified around this time or following this new moon as a result of these new ideas that you will be implementing around this new moon as well. Right, so we also have a Saturn and Mercury square, and Mercury rules over your 3rd house as well as your 12th house, and sorry, the 3rd house and the 12th house. So here, this could also indicate that tendency towards negative thinking, something to keep in mind as well. And if you feel this way, try to practice positive affirmations from as soon as you wake up, to set your mind and set your mood in a positive mindset and way, because here the moon is changeable. So with Cancer as your chart ruler here, yes, that those moods and outlook of life could be pretty changeable throughout life overall. And with Mercury triggering that with Saturn triggering Mercury, the ruler of your 3rd, it's essential to, I think these affirmations will be really essential and could bring some positivity as well into your life. So here we go. Thank you very much. And let's move into the next sign. Hello, Leos, and welcome to your horoscope for the upcoming new moon in Scorpio. And this new moon will be in your 4th house. We've got the conjunction with Mars as well. And overall, Scorpio and Leo connect by a square. So there is some tension here in the air, and Uranus is activated in your 10th house. So perhaps on the one hand, this could be about a family member feeling slightly upset that you've been spending long hours or too many hours at your work or working on your career projects, and you don't dedicate enough time towards your family, towards your family members overall. So this new moon could prompt you to find a solution to this sort of problem that may emerge. So perhaps this could be about implementing some adjustments into your time schedule, for instance. Now, on a different level here, because yes, there is that dynamic energy. Perhaps if you've been planning to start your renovations around this new moon, there could be some kind of delays. Something may come up. Perhaps you won't have enough tools or the necessary material to start your renovations, and this will require perhaps seeking alternative sources, alternative sources where you could obtain the missing products, for example, the missing material. Perhaps someone from the team who was going to renovate your house isn't going to be available anymore. Perhaps they are unwell, and this will also delay the whole process. So there's a little bit of frustration, you having to deal with some adjustments and get out of your comfort zone. Now, on a different level, this could be also about some issues with damp at your home. If there is too much moisture in the air, this sort of theme issue may also come up around this new moon. It will require planning. Perhaps you'll have to buy a dehumidifier for your home in order to suck out the water from the air. And so yes, damp issues connected to perhaps anything to do with drainage, anything to do with sinks, toilets. Perhaps they will be replaced. Perhaps there could be some blockages you have to deal with. So all these unpleasant kind of issues may come up at your home, and they will require immediate action here with that Mars and Uranus. So something taking you by surprise, and you have to find solution. There won't be time to talk too much about it. You will have to take action. But at the same time, this could lead to some really new, developments and new improvements at your home. So yes, you could be also reorganizing your cellar. You could be also reorganizing the cupboard under your sink, where you keep your chemicals, when you keep all the products, the cleaning products, for example. Now, on a different level, this is also about dealing with some insects at home. Sorry, I'm mentioning all of these things, but yes, they are connected to Scorpio, and you've got the new moon here, Mars, Uranus opposition. So you might be also here, the insects connected to moisture are, for example, silverfish. So this is also about battling this sort of issues during the Scorpio season and also this new moon, since we've got all these erratic energies. So if this isn't related to home-related matters, renovations, then perhaps this could be about also some issues at your home coming up, connected to perhaps you focusing your energies too much on a different area of life, like your career. It's not a good time for making any some kind of impulse purchases or unnecessary purchases, because here you've got a square between Mars and Mercury rules over your second house. So perhaps if the issues emerge at home, connected to whatever I already said earlier, then you will have to deal with some unexpected expenses connected to, fixing the issues at your home, for example. But now here, Mercury and Saturn square is connected to a tendency towards negative thinking. So perhaps you might feel slightly negative about your financial situation, self-worth, self-esteem. If this is the case, make sure that you find some comfort. You go to the cinema, you go for a nice walk, get some fresh air, have a nice meal, something that you will rise your vibrations, because they could be slightly lower around this new moon. We've got an a square between the new moon, Mars, and your ascendant, Leo, and also we've got a square between Saturn and Mercury. Mercury rules over your second house, which is connected to self-worth and self-esteem. So definitely get involved in some activities or do something positive in your life around this new moon that will help you to rise your vibration and your mood as well. So positive affirmations. Thank you very much, Leos, and let's move into the next sign. Hello, Virgos, and welcome to your horoscope for the upcoming new moon in Scorpio happening on the 13th in your third house. So a new moon where communication is significant, even though I told you earlier that Scorpio is one of the mute signs, which is more about feelings rather than talk and communication. So here with a new moon in Scorpio, in your third house, it's some new beginnings are coming up for you in the area of communication, paperwork, documents. You could be signing some new contracts, agreements. Perhaps this is when you will decide you want to write a book, or perhaps this could be about a new course of study, or perhaps generally some kind of new beginnings in the area of communication, social interactions. Perhaps you're setting up a new social account for yourself, a Facebook account, an Instagram account. Now here, travel is emphasized as well. So you could be traveling, especially since Mars is here connecting tightly with this new moon. So there is this eagerness, this need to take action. Now, at the same time, we've got an opposition to Uranus. So Uranus here is activated in your ninth house. There is a shakeup, and perhaps there could be a situation that requires you to change your mind, change your plans, change your direction. So here, this new moon is about going with a flow, even though the energies are pretty intense, profound, complex, and fixed. So it's not always the case, but you are a mutable sign, so you might find it easier to go with the flow than the other signs. But here with this new moon, an opposition from Uranus, it could be that perhaps you want to go in one direction, but some external forces are forcing you to perhaps implement some adjustments to the plan that you already had. So, for example, if you were going to start a new course of study, perhaps suddenly you will find out that the tutor will be different, or perhaps the hours will change, or that there will be a slight delay with the start date, for instance. Now, if this was about a trip, here again, perhaps if you are traveling with a friend, the friend might suddenly pull out and you'll have to find someone else to travel. Or perhaps if this is, or perhaps the hours could change, the train hours, the train could be cancelled. So overall, it's all about generally finding a quick solution. Now, you could be also involved in some challenging conversations here with that new moon and Mars in your third house. Challenging conversations, especially since Saturn is squaring the Mercury here between the 10th and the 14th, especially the strongest influence of around this new moon. And Mercury is your chart ruler, and this can lead to negative thinking, inability to see the light at the end of the tunnel. So here it's essential to practice positive affirmations from, as soon as you wake up, and to create a vision map even, especially since we are approaching the end of 2023. Perhaps this new moon is about being realistic of your expectations of what you can possibly achieve in the upcoming future. Now, you might be also dealing with some paperwork, some important documents, perhaps even legal documents that might be slightly uncomfortable to deal with at first. Perhaps this is also about having to complete more or fill up more documents that you initially thought you would have to fulfill up in a specific case you're involved in a specific project, for example. So here there's that disruptions that comes from Uranus. So even though here this new moon is about, taking action and having that inner strength and courage to deal with whatever that comes up, Uranus brings disruption, change of direction, change of plan. So keep your calendar light around this time, because you might suddenly have to do things slightly differently to what you originally planned. But at the same time here, the new moon in the third house is connected to perhaps dealing with the slightly more profound and deeper, more complex aspects of life. And this could be also about dealing with some important research work, research studies, getting to the depth of a certain issue, dilemma there might be. There could be some dynamics going on with your siblings and relatives that may come up as well. They might suddenly reappear in your life if you haven't spoken to them for quite some time. If you've been wanting to plan a trip, a foreign trip, perhaps there could be also some limitations that you might experience. And these would then create these internal blockages. And that's a need to break free. But here, this is all about proceeding with caution, finding solutions to the problems that emerge, but without causing too much disruption. All right, so here we go. I think that's what I've got for you today. Thank you very much. And let's move to the next sign. Hello, Libras, and welcome to your horoscope for the upcoming new moon in Scorpio. And this new moon will be in your second house. So whenever the second house is activated in our birth chart by a new moon or full moon or a transit progression, then this indicates that here our financial stability and security comes into light. With a new moon is more specifically here your financial area, and the second house with a full moon, we would look at towards the second and the eighth more specifically. So here, some new beginnings are around the horizons for you. This could be a new client, this could be a new opportunity, this could be connected to some new financial growth and financial planning, budgeting, perhaps a new purchase. Now, overall, Scorpio season is a time when you might be dealing with lots of outgoings, expenses connected to your vehicle, to your insurance, house insurance, car insurance, perhaps some repairs, or anything to do with home and family-related expenses. Now, because Mars is transiting your second house, and when Mars is in the second house in our birth chart here by a transit, this often brings lots of outgoings into our lives. But at the same time, a new moon is about something fresh and new, and this could be as little as a new idea that could really help you to Be more efficient with your spendings, with your budgeting, financial planning. So we've got Mars and this new moon conjunction, which kind of gives us this energy to take action, no matter what. Mars in Scorpio awakens that inner lion, so to speak, inside us. So gives us this strength to deal with situations that perhaps otherwise would be very difficult to deal with. At the same time, you've got this eagerness to improve your finances, and overall here we also have a little bit of erratic energy as well. We've got an opposition from Uranus in Taurus, and Uranus is activated in the area of the 8th house. So anything to do with money that comes through different sources than our regular income. And this could indicate a slight change of plans direction connected to your financial sphere. Perhaps even unexpected fees you may have to cover around this time, change of circumstances, anything to do with your commissions and your bonuses, for example. If you've been expecting, perhaps they might be either delayed, or perhaps you might receive not what you expected. At the same time, there is a shakeup going on. This could be also a shakeup in the area of your partner's financial sphere, which would then have a strong impact upon your household finances and how they are shared and managed. So we've got that opposition here coming from the 8th house, and that intensity and depth is highlighted, as well as complexity. So this is about going on the one hand out of your comfort zone. Your self-worth and self-esteem might be triggered. Perhaps your skills and talents might be tested at this time. It could be a testing time, and testing time that will require you possibly to get out of your comfort zone. If this is connected to some unexpected expenses that you were not expecting, or perhaps some fees to cover more than you thought, then you will have to act quickly. And here with that Martian energy highlighted at this time. And also Scorpio, it's all about persistency. It's all about taking action instead of just talking, as I mentioned at the beginning of this video. But I think of that second house here, that self-worth and self-esteem is triggered. Perhaps someone will test you. Could be a testing time when you will have to prove yourself, when you will have to prove your skills and talents, perhaps even at your work and your career, because the moon rules over your 10th house. And with that Martian energy highlighted at this time, perhaps this could be a challenge that you may have to overcome that comes up out of the blue, or perhaps some sudden need or requirement to be involved in a certain project that will require effort, energy from you. So generally here, during this time, it's not a good time for taking financial risks. It's monitor your spendings. Be aware of any scammers, anyone who will try to persuade you to make a purchase, which you might not need. So definitely be aware of those. Now, at the same time, we also have a Saturn and Mercury opposition, square, which will be activated a few days before this new moon is exact. So here, your 9th house and the 11th house, the 12th house are activated here, where Mercury is the ruler. So you might feel slightly also restricted to a certain extent. You might feel like you can't spread your wings at this time. There are too many obligations and responsibilities that need your energy, that there isn't enough time for rest. But this is going to be the influence circulating around this new moon. If this is the case, don't lose hope, because you've got the Venus now in your 1st house, so you attract positive energies, and you've got this beautiful creative aura around you. And the challenges that may emerge possibly around this new moon, even though the decisions that you make will have a long-lasting, enduring effect, but at the same time, once this new moon is over, a couple of days after this new moon is over, the energies will slow down, and it will be easier to enjoy these Venusian energies. So here overall, that financial security, stability is highlighted. Even your retirement age plans. And there could be a certain degree of worry, anxiety, whether basically this new moon could also underline or highlight the issue of stability in your life. And you may ask yourself, am I financially stable, or whether there something needs to change? And this new moon, even though you might have to kind of let go of a certain idea, goal temporarily, but at the same time, there's an opportunity for something fresh, for implementing something fresh and new into your life to enhance that growth and development that could potentially lead to a greater life fulfillment moving forward. Overall, with Saturn in your 6th house, there could be increased responsibilities. There could be lots of work, and here Venus, yes, but as I'm saying, it's usually the first phase of a transit of a planet in a transit in a certain sign, and the final phase. So we are yet again experiencing that initial phase, the energies that you have already experienced between March and June. So it's like a second chance, a second attempt, and it should be easier because you've already gone through these energies before. But overall here, Venus in Libra until the 4th of December gives you this amazing opportunity for enjoying life, enjoying the simple pleasures of life, self-love, self-care, and that's pampering yourself. It's really, really essential, and don't feel bad about putting yourself first throughout this time, because I'm sure you give out so much here with Saturn transiting your 6th house since the beginning of March. But overall, this new moon highlights here anything to do with income, finances, self-worth, self-esteem. So some new beginnings, but at the same time, a sudden change of events. And that will require a little bit of flexibility, a little bit of needs to find solutions. All right, so here we go, Libras. Thank you very much. And let's move into the next sign. Hello, Scorpios, and welcome to your horoscope for the upcoming new moon in Scorpio. So a very significant new moon for Scorpio rising individuals, but also those who have Scorpio, the sun in Scorpio or the moon, because there is quite a lot happening here at this point. And regardless what placement is here activated, here all these the luminaries and the ascendant, they play a significant role here. If they are placed in the sign of Scorpio, because you will experience these energies quite deeply and profoundly. So a new moon is about new beginnings. It's the first new moon this year in your 1st house. So you are starting some kind of new cycle here, very much connected to your identity, to your persona. Mars is here. So we are in a way lucky because Mars is our traditional ruler. And Mars and the new moon, they will give us a lot of courage, a lot of stamina to overcome all these challenging energies that will come in place. And yeah, so it will play out in many different ways. First of all, it's all about you. So since the ruler of this new moon, the traditional ruler, Mars, is separating from Uranus, just before this new moon, you could detach from something or someone, or something could just leave your life, or perhaps you could move away from a certain habit. You could suddenly realize that what you're doing, perhaps let's give you an example here. I recently realized that I've been drinking too much coffee, and it's just something that I just developed in the last 2 months since I went through all these big changes in my life. And I became really hyperactive with all the caffeine intake, and also I've been drinking drinks with guarana, which is a natural caffeine. So I was so boosted because I've been having difficulty sleeping as well. And yeah, so yesterday I had a few people over, a few moms over. I organized a little play date, and I was just so all over the place that I realized, oh my goodness, I need to calm down and really control my caffeine intake. So today I'm drinking a tea, and I'm going to get some decaf coffee because it's just too much. It's too much. So yes, I'm moving away from this habit. This Mars rules our sixth house of well-being, of health, of our routine. So I developed a negative routine in the last 2 weeks. So here, this new moon made me realize that this is affecting my health, and I can't function like this. So here I'm taking these steps to move away from this habit. And here is a fresh new beginning in a way. So it's this kind of, example here. Perhaps you're doing something that is negatively contributing to your daily life. So you could be moving away from a habit or routine. And here, this new moon gives you this inner strength. So that's why it's good to have this Mars here, our traditional ruler, close to the new moon, because we get this inner motivation and drive to get on with whatever that we want to accomplish and make it happen. So I think that's a positive thing. Now, at the same time, the sun rules over the 10th house of career, professional life. So here there could be also that inner drive to move forward with a certain career goal. I've been reinventing my website. I've launched some online self-study courses and a few more blog posts. So yes, so I think that's also positive. However, we also have an opposition to Uranus, and it's a separating one. So as I said, just before this new moon, there could be some things happening at people moving away from your life, you moving away from some habits, routines. So here, the seventh house is all about these one-to-one connections, contracts. So perhaps this could be about the end of a certain contract. Perhaps this could be about some changes in dynamics between yourself and the other person, and move on. But here, Mars gives us the inner strength and the ability to move forward, to overcome any difficult feeling that comes up as a result of these challenging energies that could create some sudden and strange situations even. Right, so we also have Saturn and Mercury square, and this will be already activated before this new moon between the 10th and the 14th. That's the strongest influence. So here, this is Mercury rules. Yeah, so this is again connections, friendships. So you see, we've got this opposition with Mars and Uranus. So there is some kind of shake-up in that these one-to-ones, but also a square between Saturn and Mercury, and this could affect some friendships, connections. And perhaps you will be thinking very deeply about your future goals and plans. Perhaps there could be some negative thinking or overthinking, overanalyzing in place when it comes to what you want to do next. Or perhaps this could be also about kind of remodifying your goals, because some of them are not realistic at this point in life. So here also with that opposition to Uranus, perhaps this could be also about your partner going through some changes that will also change the dynamic of your relationship. Perhaps you'll have to adjust. Perhaps this could be about getting out of your comfort zone as well, having some important conversations regarding your significant unions, commitments in your life as well. Partnerships here are highlighted. All right, so see, thank you very much, Scorpios. I'm just looking here at this Mercury in Sagittarius. So yes, be cautious with your spendings and outgoings. It's here, Mercury is in your second house. It's also a time when you might sit down and do your financial budgeting and planning. And perhaps this could be a time when you realize, hold on, I need to perhaps slow down and be more conscious with my spendings, with my outgoing, especially with Christmas. Apologies for the sound of my phone. With the Christmas, the festive season approaching. All right, so here we go. Thank you very much, Scorpios, and let's move into the next sign. Hello, Sagittarius, and welcome to your horoscope for the upcoming new moon in Scorpio. So here we've got this new moon activating your 12th house. 12th house deals with anything that happens behind the scenes, but also anything to do with our mental health, private life, institutions, hospitals, prisons, and so on. So here the new moon is about new beginnings. In a way, you are finishing a cycle here with this new moon. This is the 12th house in the astrological chart. So while something new is about around the horizon, at the same time, it's also about something coming to an end. We've got this new moon's dispositor or ruler, if you will, Mars, in opposition to Uranus in your 6th house. So it could be that as we approach this new moon in the days leading towards this new moon, you will be changing your routine. Perhaps you'll be moving away from certain habits. Perhaps you'll be moving away from certain tasks, responsibilities. This could be also when you'll be dealing with major deadlines. And it could be a pretty stressful time for some people because we've got this also, we've got a square between Saturn and Mercury rules over your 7th house. So perhaps relating to others, especially in these one-to-one connections, could be slightly challenging between the 10th and the 14th of November. There is a tendency to feel like you're not being fully understood, or perhaps you might see that someone is not fully present or available, or there is a certain degree of kind of this feeling of detachment. So, and then this could also result in you kind of re-evaluating and you might be reassessing your relationship, your contract, your connection, business partnership. So yes, this one-to-one connection with this another person, someone significant in your life, could also come into light. At the same time, here you've got this new one in the 12th house. So it's all about also thinking about any negative habits that affect your mental health, your well-being. This is a time when you might be getting or becoming interested. You might become interested in self-study books, books connected to self-discovery, psychology, mental health. So this is also connected to self-discovery, healing. If you experience or if you struggle with overthinking or insomnia, then this new moon will be a good time for finding ways to help you heal, to help you overcome these sort of mental health issues, challenges, blockages that block that ability to feel fulfilled and satisfied in your life. Because yes, so basically the 12th house new moon gives you this opportunity to find a healthy balance between your work life and your inner life, your inner world, but at the same time, it's a lovely new moon for being grounded, for staying grounded. So perhaps meditation, or this could be about getting involved in some spiritual retreat or event. This is also a good new moon for generally working with Mother Earth, with earth, planting or replanting your pots, working in a garden, depending on where in the world you live. So it's about connecting with Mother Earth, grounding yourself, or perhaps meditating. So it's about finding this connection to feel fully grounded, so that when the Sagittarius season begins at the end of November, you are ready to start a brand new 12-month cycle, feeling strong and ready to face any challenge that comes your way. Now, at the same time, we've got this opposition to Uranus. So yes, there could be a little unexpected change situation at your work or with a coworker that will require perhaps a sudden resolution, for example, or perhaps this is about just finding a solution without delaying anything, because whatever you delay, it will come back, but it will be more difficult to overcome. So here with Uranus, yes, you could be suddenly realizing that you need to fix a certain challenge in your life or face, or perhaps move away from a certain habit. Perhaps this could be also connected to dealing with certain deadlines and work-related matters that will require immediate attention. But at the same time, don't forget to nurture yourself and to ground yourself around this new moon to fully absorb the energies present. All right, so here we go, Sagittarius. Thank you very much, and let's move into the next sign. Hello, Capricorns, and welcome to your horoscope for the upcoming new moon in Scorpio. So here, this new moon will activate your 11th house, and the 11th house deals with anything to do with groups, with large events, crowded places, anything to do also with, networking events as well. So this new one could present an opportunity for attending a sort of business networking event or a business event of some sort. Now, on a different level, this is also connected to your participation in a concert, in some kind of workshop. And often when there is a new moon in the 11th house, there is some kind of work function, work event, and an opportunity for getting in touch or back in touch with some colleagues, work connections of some sort. So yes, this could be very much the case for you. Now, on a different level here with this 11th house activation, this is also connected to your friendship, to your social circle. And here with the Mars transiting your 11th house along with the Sun, and with this new moon on the 13th, you might be thinking about your social circle, your own social circle, and the people that you hang out with, socialize with, and perhaps something might be lacking. Perhaps you could be moving away from a connection just before this new moon is exact, because we've got an opposition to Uranus. So there's an element of surprise, and this could be in regards to someone departing from your life, a new connection. For example, this could be connected to a tense conversation even that you may have with someone from your work, a co-worker. Remember that we will have Mercury and Saturn square as soon as Mercury enters Sagittarius on the 10th. And this signifies well, on the one hand, this could be connected to negative thinking. This could be also connected to some clashes and perhaps inability to express your thoughts, ideas freely, because something or someone will stand in the way. So here communication is slightly challenged, and so be cautious, or perhaps don't get anyone getting into your head, so to speak, if you do attend any work function, any work events, because there is a little bit of tension. Now, perhaps this is related to some job dissatisfaction as well. Perhaps you're dissatisfied with something to do with your employment. And this could be very much the case because here you've just had an eclipse in your 10th house, a South Node eclipse. And for many Capricorns, this is connected to some kind of draining energy entering your area of professional life. And there could be some kind of dissatisfaction or that realization that perhaps of stagnation, of being stuck in the same situation without being able to move forward. So here, lots of new realizations, and there are opportunities for Capricorn without a doubt, especially since we will have more eclipses happening. But with the South Node transiting your 10th house, it's about clearing away. So there a phase of life connected to a career is either coming to an end or will be coming to an end at some point throughout this cycle. And this new moon could be connected to some new and strong realizations that you may have as a result of some dissatisfaction at your work, perhaps a difficult conversation you may have with another person. Perhaps this is also connected to your routine, your lifestyle, and a certain degree of dissatisfaction in this area of life as well. And here, this new moon gives you this opportunity, especially since Mars is present, to set yourself new goals that will align much better with your current reality. So lots of different opportunities here with the 11th house, the house of hopes and wishes as well, and long-term plans. And with Mars being present here, Mars gives you this courage and drive and motivation to make your dreams a reality. However, here this new moon also brings the more complex issues of life, the more profound and deeper. So for this reason, this could be about perhaps some clashes that you may experience with a friend, and some new strong realizations that perhaps you don't no longer align with some people in your life, and it's time for a little shift. Now, yes, so you could be also redefining your goals and dreams for the future. Saturn is now in a direct motion since as of November the 4th, so there is a forward momentum. But I think following that south node eclipse in Libra, you could be still experiencing a certain degree of confusion regarding where is it that you're heading with your career, or whether you're heading in the right direction. This could be also very much the case. If you're going to be traveling around this new moon, then leave early, plan carefully, because Mercury rules your 9th house of foreign travels. And it is in a square to Saturn, or vice versa. Yeah, well, yes, Saturn. So what this means is that there could be delays, or there could be generally a little obstacle. So that comes along, and perhaps traffic jam, perhaps change of flights, perhaps you could dislocate your passport at your home, and it's just about being prepared. Generally prepared. Don't leave anything to the last minute. Keep your schedule free or open or flexible, even if possible. But other than that, thank you very much, and let's move into the next sign. All right, so I will move into Aquarius now, but I've just realized that I didn't change the chart, so I hope it's showing the right chart. Yes, okay. So hello, Aquarius, and welcome to your horoscope for the new moon in Scorpio happening on the 13th. And here we've got this new one in your 10th house. So here, whatever happens in the 10th, it influences our professional life, our outside world, career as well. So here, the ruler of this new moon is Mars, the traditional ruler. It is separating from a opposition with Uranus, which indicates that this new moon will be already activated prior to this event, to this new moon. And here, this new moon generally turns your attention onto your career growth, and there could be new opportunities that come along for some Aquarius rising, especially if you've been working towards a specific goal, if you've been expecting a certain shift, then this new moon could indicate that this is a chance for seeing some positive outcomes. Now, here we've got Mars aligning with this new moon. So there is that courage, drive, motivation, and that ability to face any challenges that come along connected to your career, or some important meetings, conversations, presentations you may have to go through or do yourself around this time. So yes, so basically new projects, new connections, new people, business networking is highlighted here as well. Now, during a new moon, we plant seeds or some new seeds, but we often don't see instant outcomes and results. It takes time for the seed to transform into a plant and to produce some visibility above the ground. So yes, and so with the new moon, it's all about patience, and that's fixed energy produces long-lasting results. Scorpio and Aquarius connect by a square. And here, this new moon, yes, this new moon could be very much connected to what you've already been working on in the last 2 years since we started the eclipses here in Scorpio and Taurus in November 2021. So here with this new moon, you could be very much dealing with the aftermath from the events that occurred in the last 2 years. But overall here, there is this opportunity for growth, development, but at the same time, there's some disruption happening at your home. Perhaps you are renovating, and perhaps there has been a new addition to the family. Perhaps you have visitors, or your family members are maybe dissatisfied because you've been spending too much time, too much energy working, and they want you more available, more present and at home. So you'll have to find solutions to perhaps keep everyone happy, but at the same time maintain that stability in your career as well, and that ability to grow. So yes, so basically that there could be that the events that happen at home could create that disruption at your work. So you have to make sure that you get enough sleep, that you get enough rest, for example, so that you can perform in your career. Saturn is approaching your first house, Aquarius. So there is this massive transformation coming, and that need to change something in your life on a deeper level. And you probably know already what it is, because Pluto has been already in Aquarius. So you have already experienced this intensity that came along. But overall here, we've got Venus in the 9th house throughout November. So there could be also, generally with Venus in the 9th house, it's a good time for going to perhaps some events where you could meet like-minded people. So events connected to your passion, to your interests. We've got Venusian energy in Libra, a good time for expanding your connections, socializing, networking. If this is something that you want to do, then November is a good month for doing so, because you've got the personal planets in the upper part of the chart, which signifies that your focus is on your public life more than your home life, even though there will be things happening at your home, but there's more action, more attention required in the outside world. But right, so here we go, Aquarius. Thank you very much, and let's move to the next sign. Hello, Pisces, and welcome to your horoscope for the upcoming new moon in Scorpio. And this new moon will be in your 9th house. So here the 9th house deals with foreign places, foreign travel, people, our life purpose as well. Whatever happens in the 9th house stimulates that need for adventure, spontaneity, freedom, independence. So this new moon, generally a new moon is when we plant new seeds, but we see the most satisfying outcomes usually after a few months. So it takes time. But still, whatever you decide, whatever you do or start around this new moon, you will have to take care of it. And if you want it to escalate to the next level, because it's a fixed energy, and fixed energy creates long-lasting results and outcomes as long as we put enough effort, energy into that. We've got Mars present here as well. So overall, this is also a good time for starting a project that would allow you to expand your horizons, your wisdom, your prospects. Whatever we do during the transits in the 9th house also acts as an opportunity for career and professional life growth. So here Saturn has just recently stationed direct in your 1st house and is moving in a forward motion. So here you are kind of resuming that major phase that has already been activated back in March when Saturn entered this area of life. But this time around, it should be easier because you would have experienced these energies 2 times prior in 2023. So here with the 9th house, perhaps this is about a new job connected to international business affairs, import-export. Perhaps this is a job abroad or has got some connection with foreign places, foreign people, languages, or this could be about your need to study. Knowledge, higher knowledge is very much highlighted here with Saturn in your 1st house. For some Pisces rising, this could be about studying, higher learning, a degree. And there could be this need for knowledge, but even if it isn't a higher learning course, it could be very much also just a short course. Jupiter is in your 3rd house. And overall studying is emphasized. A good time for studying, for learning, for investing in yourself, in your intellect. You could be very hungry for knowledge at this time. You could be also thinking about perhaps applying for a new passport. Perhaps your passport is expiring and you've only just realized and you've been thinking to travel. Because there is a little bit of that unexpected energy activated in your 3rd house. So if you're going to be traveling, prepare well and keep your schedule light, because there could be some disruption along the way. Perhaps leave early, because if there's a traffic jam, this could mean that you will be late and it will create stressful moments and situations. But other than that, I think that's what I've got for you today. Of course, Saturn and Mercury square. And this can generally between the 10th and the 14th. This can affect your personal relationship. This can make you feel distant from another person, close to your heart, or vice versa. Or there could be that inability to connect because of different differences in opinions, for instance. So yes, so keep this in mind and perhaps try to avoid any tense conversations if you can in these first days of first days of Mercury's entry into Sagittarius. So thank you very much and all the best. All right, so we reached the final sign for this forecast. Thank you very much for your attention. I hope you enjoyed this video. Happy new moon in Scorpio, and until the next time, bye for now.